I start with PowerPoint. I think PowerPoint we all use the most most of the time. So let's talk about some real life enterprise use cases. And I think the first and foremost one is probably optimizing text. So I'm writing an important presentation, and I want to just be sure that it's, of course, there are no typos, no grammar issues, but I also want to make the language more precise. In particular, if you're like me, not a native American speaker, I want to get some support, right? And what I can do is, for example, I can just select text boxes that I want to check now. And I have in all three applications, in PowerPoint, Outlook, and Word, I do have the AI assistant as an add-on in my Office installed. And if I click here, I get this very simple user interface. This user interface works as follows. On the left-hand side, I'll have the text that I just selected. And now I can iterate through the three checkboxes one by one. And now I can choose a ready-to-go command. Like I can use, technically we know it's called prompt. I can, for example, say, I want to improve that. That means it will automatically spell check, but it will also improve the language and changes even how the sentence is structured based on, of course, depending on my text. So you can see here, it literally changed the sentence. And I think what we focused a lot on, I think everyone knows by now, never trust and result an output from AI without proofreading, right? Never do that. That's not a good idea. So that's why we put a lot of emphasis in this user interface to say, you see on the right-hand side what AI produced, you can compare it with your text, you can ensure that this is still very good. Of course, the quality quite often is much better. That's why we use it. But it gives you the security of, okay, we're not blindly doing some replacements without knowing what's going on. I can here also say, if I don't like that suggestion, I can repeat it, like with ChatGPT. So it just reiterates and creates me a new proposal. If I like it more, and I can click accept. And then it comes to the second text box I selected. Again, here, it runs the same command automatically. So it's very intuitive. There are some corrections in here, I'll accept. And last but not least, again, without reading everything now, I can check and then accept it. And you see what happens is it automatically now, after I made that choice, replaces the text. It always keeps the formatting intact. So it will always remain. I will never have formatting issues when I use that functionality because it's directly integrated into Office. So this saves me a lot of time, because if you would do the exact same thing here, what I just did, for example, with the free ChatGPT version, right? You could do that. Probably data security wise, you should not, or you must not do that. But if you would do it, you would have to copy the first shape, the text. You go to your browser, then you paste it, and you have to type in a prompt every time you run the prompt. Then you get the result. You copy it again with your mouse, switch to PowerPoint, paste it, and you have a formatting issue, and then you fix it. So 10 to 20 clicks for one shape at least. Three boxes on one slide would be 30 to 100 clicks, and this adds up, right? It's just not fun. It's not fun to do that. And in Copilot, by the way, you couldn't do that either. It will not be able to replace text inside your shapes. So that's what we mean with focusing on these use cases that work today, make it very simple to use. Another example is, so this was my lecturer, someone who checks my text, right? That gives me a good feeling, but sometimes I want to have a copywriter at hand because I want to make a more exciting headline. In this case, I can select my headline here. I can run the AI assistant and say, hey, I want to create a promotional headline. So by the way, I didn't talk about it here. You can put as many prompts, like it's just a one-click button and the prompt will be fired in the background. You can centrally define, company-wide, you define like the most relevant prompts that everyone could use. So no one needs to know how to create a prompt. Everyone can just hit the buttons. But if you like, you can create your own prompts and save them to your list. I will show that to you in a second. In my case, I can say I've created a promotional one. And if I run this prompt, you see it's a longer prompt. It creates me a nice version that is much more exciting, much more commercial, if you will. I can now, of course, I can regenerate if I like. In this case, I like it. And it helps me now to make a much more interesting headline for my slides. And so I can go through important documents with the help of AI and get much better results, much faster, exactly as we saw in the BCG study. Shortening text, another use case. I can do that really quick. I love that because maybe an example everyone can relate to. We have a slide, we created too much text, and we tend to reduce the font size to 9 and make it not readable, but everything is still fits on one slide. And we all know in our heart we should have reduced the text to make it more digestible. And with AI, this is a perfect use case, right? I can just select my boxes, say I want to run the AI assistant, and then I could, for example, say I want to summarize, so that actually reduces my text significantly. Again, I would normally, not in a demo like now, but I would read it and check and see, oh yeah, that's a good summary. And I go through those 4 checkboxes I selected, always compare, maybe rerun if I like, accept, and then I'm good to go. And it automatically replaces the text. And I have a much better slide where I can now actually even increase my font size. So another use case, depending if you're working in international setups, you might want to or have the need to translate slides from a foreign language into English or vice versa. Of course, that's a perfect use case for AI. In this case, for example, you can hear in my German accent, I work with American or English slides, but I also work with German slides. So in case I have these 2 slides in German that I would like to use, I can just select both of them, run the AI assistant and say, hey, I want to translate it to English. And the cool thing is it really translates in a high quality because I tell the AI, hey, you're a native American speaker now, translate it and change even the wording if needed to make it sound American and not like a German translation. And so I can now do that and go through it, check again, and there we go. In with a few clicks, I have translated the slides to English. Last use case for PowerPoint. We saw also in the co-pilot videos, in the marketing videos, this, oh, we create a deck from scratch automatically. And again, we are not there yet, but I think there's a use case, a sub-use case that has been shown, which is really cool to say, hey, we can easily create some content based on, of course, internet research. So for example, here, let's say I want to have an introductory slide about, hey, AI in corporations, what are the benefits and risks of AI? And I can just say, if I put the cursor like in here, so I don't select text to change it, I just put it in here and say I want to create text. If I now run the AI assistant, it actually doesn't show me before after, because now I can just use it like in with any other AI solution. I can chat with it. And for example, now I could say, create, I don't know, create a numbered list of advantages for the introduction of AI, I don't know, into of AI in corporations. Sorry. So like this, I just copy that and run it. Let's see whether it produces something which is reasonable. Okay, I get 6 reasons why it's a good idea. So it's a starting point. I'll accept, and it just enters it here. On the other side, on the opposite, I want to talk about risks. So I can do the same here. I just number list of risks where for the introduction of AI. Let's see whether that works. And that's what you know also when you work with it. Now you get a list of problems that you might have. And I would never pretend to say, now you're good to go, this is your slide. I think it's a great starting point. It really helps you. And now taking it from there, and again, it's an assistant. It's not replacing you. It's not replacing your work. It's helping you get work done better and faster. And I think that's a perfect example. So I have a great starting point, and I can now maybe make some final adjustments.